Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Haut Beyleron. With me, CWATTYESO here in Farming Simulator 22. We've got our rollers out in force, rolling our lovely fields. Both of them working on a separate field each. With the big massive roller obviously taking care of the slightly larger of the two fields. Right. It is, of course, August the 1st. Let's have a quick check on what we've got in our silos. A lot of sorghum. We need to cart that round to the flour factory, don't we? We've got 54,000 litres of milk. Could do with getting a tanker, really. Moving that. Also got quite a bit of slurry and manure. So while the rollers are rolling, I may have parked my vehicle of power. Also use the class actually, as we're parked closest to it. We'll go take our truck. I bought a tanker a couple of days ago and it's been sat up at the store ever since. We'll use this to transport the sorghum from Field 43's harvest to the grain mill. I'm sorry if I'm sort of, you know, I made the fatal mistake of eating a handful of popcorn just before I hit the record button, and now my mouth's all like, full of bits of popcorn. I've got popcorn stuck in my teeth. I've been... But yes, here we are, back on Haut Beyleron. I've recorded a lot of Calmsden this week. This is my first time recording any Haut Beyleron this week, and it's Easter Saturday as I'm recording this, ladies and gents. And I have been doing some thinking this week in regards to Farm Sim and the content on the channel going forward. I'm probably going to be ending this series on Haut Beyleron very soon. Partly because viewing numbers have dwindled on this series to the point where each episode only gets, you know, a few views now. Compared to Calmsden, which more people seem to be watching the Calmsden series now than this series. Which leads me to believe people are probably a little bit bored with this map and would like to see something new. So I will be starting a new series very soon. And I'll be starting it on the Huron County map. Which is a 16x map. And I'm going to be starting it, I'm going to let you know now. So spoilers. I'm going to be starting it in start from scratch mode. So I'm not going to own any land, not going to own a farm, not going to own any equipment. And I'm going to start the series out working as a contractor. I'm just going to be doing contracts to begin with, all around the map, because it is a huge map with loads of fields. And yeah, we're going to see where it goes from there. 16x map should be fun to play. Should be some quite long drives. Right, we'll drop this off over here at the grain mill. And then what we'll do, we'll go grab the tanker that I bought the other day. We'll go get the milk first of all from the cows, get that moved over to the cheese factory. Then we'll go get rid of some slurry and manure at the BGA, shall we? Plenty of sorghum. That'll keep that factory running, that'll keep the bakery going. Right, here's what I'm going to do. A little bit unusual. Just going to leave my trailer actually parked down here. Right, let's take the truck, store, pick up our tanker trailer, and let's go get some liquids. Moved and transported. So how's everybody doing? How are you all? I'm very quiet just recently on the videos in terms of comments from people. Not a lot of people leaving their comments. Not a lot of people engaging in conversation. Like I say, I do look forward to just talking. I do enjoy talking about Farm Sim, having conversations with fellow players. So if you want to leave some comments for me in the comment section of this video, please feel free to do so. Right, we're going to head off down to the cows, load up with the milk. First and foremost. Don't actually have to take it very far, do we? It's a good thing. Slurry's a little bit more complicated. Crack that open. Some manure there. Right, let's see. We should get this filled. Oh, you're gonna be playing funny buggers. Do I have to park it this way round? Not tried filling with this particular trailer. There we go. Fill triggers at the front. Oh, and I failed to realise that I've bought the world's smallest tanker in the I'm so used to using the Stevie Garant trailer, liquid trailer on the Elm Creek map that I'm so used to having a tanker trailer that transports 120,000 litres of liquid, which, you know, you'd expect it to do given its quite massive size. It's a milking day. First time transporting any of this on the map. Not done milk yet. And certainly haven't done any slurry and manure sales. Trailer down here. Hello, free range cows. Well, if I just put through. Promise I won't run any of you over. Maybe. There we go. That's our 54,000 litres that we know we had previously in the storage. Might be the slurry. We've got a lot of cheese piling up. We need to go and sell that at some point. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame really that I'm going to have to start a new series, because I really am enjoying playing on this map. And I still had things I wanted to do on this map, you know. The ultimate goal was to own all the fields and all the land down the bottom here. However, obviously, as a business person, as a YouTuber, as a content creator, once the views start to dry up and the videos aren't getting watched anymore, it's a bit, how shall we say, a bit difficult to keep a series alive just because I enjoy it, because it sadly doesn't pay the bills anymore. You know, if it's not getting watched, it's not helping me as a, you know, it's not helping me financially. So ultimately, if the views have dried up on this series, it's time to put it to bed, sadly, and accept the fact that it's time to move on to another map. New pastures. Like I say, a 16x map does give me a little bit of a different. It starts to separate me then from other content creators. Because obviously when the game first came out, everybody was forced to play the same maps because there wasn't any mod maps. But, you know, 6 months on from the game's release, half a year down the road, we now have quite a few mod maps out there. So we have a bit of choice and a bit of variety on where we can play and do things. So yeah, I'm going to go to Huron County next. I'm going to be bringing back Dolores Flothlebotham from the original Elm Creek series that I did. She never really got a fair crack of the whip. She didn't, because that series didn't last very long. It only lasted about 26 episodes or whatever. That was my alternative Let's Play series without the season cycles and without the seasonal crop growth and everything. And then obviously, once I started playing the Elm Creek edit map by Stevie, I decided at that point I wasn't going to do a Let's Play series on Elm Creek and also be playing it in multiplayer, because not a lot of point to do that. Right, let's figure out where we unload this stuff. We unload it down here. I'll do. getting paid. I did put in a placeable slurry sell point and a placeable manure sell point at the BGA, just in case I ran into the same problem that I've ran into on Calmsden, whereby I'm very limited on what I can actually sell to the BGA before it cries out that it's full. Yeah, can I get another tanker load of slurry? Should have quite a bit actually, shouldn't we, from these 2 pens? Okay, that cow pen has filled this tanker twice. Oh, there's the little robot. Feeding the cows. Providing them with food. I do like the robotic feeder in FS22. I do like that. You can kind of just fill up the cow pen and then forget about it. Fill it and forget. Put your hay in, your straw in and your silage, and the cow pen takes care of the rest. Sunflowers are growing nicely. They'll be ready to harvest soon. So yeah, pretty much what I've decided to obviously do then on this series then is that I'm going to get everything that's currently in the ground, everything that's currently growing will be harvested. My sunflowers, my grapes, I think that's all I've got pretty much left, isn't it? My soybeans. Yeah, my soybeans, my grapes, and my sunflowers. They are the only crops left that are growing. Still growing. So I'm going to get those harvested, and then at that point, that's when the series will end. So, however many videos there is left in the series, until that is done, that is it. And then we'll be, as I say, we'll be moving on to a new map with a different start, different concept. Going to start out as a contractor and build up a contracting firm, and eventually we'll be buying land with the objective of putting sheds on it to keep all our contracting equipment in. But the chances, I'm not going to rule out owning my own farm at any point. I might do, because I know when I did the I always forget the name of the bloody map now. When I did the one in FS19, Mercury, was it Mercury Farms, I think it was? The Alien Gym map. I started out as a contractor on that map, just doing contract work. And then by the end of the series, we had gone into, we'd got a bit of a farm. However, we did have, I did have the rules in place then that I couldn't sell crops. Anything I harvested could not be sold directly. It had to be turned into something else. That's when the production mods, the first production mods for FS19 came out. farm Shuby fill type mover scripts before Global Company came along and changed everything. There was these farmer Shuby production mods, and I used those in that Mercury Farm series. So basically anything I harvested off of the fields had to be turned into something else before I could sell it. So we made our own seed, we made our own fertilizer, you know. We produced stuff like that, which we could sell. Right, so there's not a lot of slurry left. And that's that tanker full. Now I know one of the rollers has stopped working, so one of them has finished his rolling. But the big roller stopped. He didn't carry on working for me, so that's a shame. So we'll hop over there, we'll do the field rolling next. That's required. As I say, I'm not terribly fussed now about reseeding these fields. More a case of getting on with the last 3 fields of harvesting. Our big soybean harvest. Our big sunflower harvest here, and our grapes. Bit of a shame because, like I say, I did buy a field over there, and I did buy another field up near the animal dealer, and I did have plans of stuff and things that I was going to do on those. However, as I say, because of the fact that the viewer numbers have dropped so massively on this series, it's time for me to bring it to an end, ladies and gents. Like TV shows, you know, once a TV network, once the ratings decline for a TV show, a network will cancel it, because if nobody's watching it, then advertisers aren't advertising on it, which means the poor old network company doesn't make any money. Yeah, so he's rolled that field okay. We'll let him pick up. I was going to send him off to do some mulching, but almost feel like there isn't much point now. But yeah, he's not done a very good job of rolling, has he? So we'll jump in the Fent in a minute. There you go. There's one for Mr. Helgi. The Fent, rubbish. Didn't do its job. Didn't do its job properly. Wouldn't have had that issue if you'd had a John Deere. Or a Case. Or a Class. I'm just joking, farm fans. I'm not being serious there. It's a kind of a long-running joke between me and Mr. Helgi, because in the multiplayer server, Mr. Helgi only ever uses the same Fent tractor on every single multiplayer save. He always has to have the same Fent tractor, and he only uses that tractor. I would be bored using one tractor all the time. I'm not going to lie. I would get very bored very quickly. I like to play with other equipment and use a variety and mix and match. So any chance I get to have a dig at Mr. Helgi's Fent for not being up to the task, I take it, as I'm trying to get him to switch to something else and start playing with other equipment and using what is on offer in the game. Oh, so this cedar is so massive. That's why I enjoyed rolling that other field first. Because when I turn around on this field, I'm going to have to roll on that one. But yeah, we have got some good things coming to Farm Sim though very soon, ladies and gents. I mean, on Tuesday we get the Precision Farming mod from Giants drop. I'm also expecting patch 1.4 to drop at the same time, which brings us some new content to the game as well. Some free content for all players, including some new vehicles, particularly the Class Xerion 5000, which was a part of the Class DLC from FS19. That's being given to us as a freebie by Giants in the new update. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Because I imagine modders will get their hands on that very quickly and do some wonderful edits of it. I know for a fact Stevie probably will do an edit of the Class 5000, because obviously he never got to do one for FS19 because it was part of the encrypted DLC file, and unless you were a real computer whiz, you weren't capable of getting the models and files and stuff out of the encrypted file. But he will probably do an edit of the Class 5000, so we will probably expect that to pop up in one of my save games in the future. I imagine Stevie will fix it as well if Giants release it exactly the same and unedited as it was in FS19. Because in FS19, when the Class DLC came out, the Xerion 5000 was a little bit disappointing because it was actually coded wrong in the XML files for it. The torque scale was wrong, which meant the tractor, even though it was advertised as having like 550 horsepower or whatever it was, got nowhere near it because Giants had used the wrong torque scale in the file and they never updated it. So everybody playing with the DLC always had a very underpowered tractor. Thankfully I got to edit the file myself using some methods we won't talk about publicly, but yeah, I was able to actually edit the file and correct it, so my Class Xerion tractor worked perfectly as advertised because I fixed the torque scale. In actual fact, I actually gave it a bit of a boost, so although it was advertised at 550 horsepower, it actually put out closer to 600 for me in FS19. But again, to be honest though, I didn't use it all that much as a tractor in FS19. I think I used it on one of my Fenton Forest series, maybe? Possibly? Or one of my Lakeland series? I can't remember. The thing was, once the Fent Tri-6 came out, once you had that mod, you really didn't need any other tractors. The Fent Tri-6 was the daddy of tractors. It was the biggest, most powerful tractor available in FS19, and it was great fun to drive. 6-wheel tractor, if you remember that. It was a 6-wheeler, and it just handled everything. It had front and rear 3-point hitches, which made it perfect for doing anything you wanted it to do. It had, what was it, 1150 horsepower. So there wasn't another tractor in the base game that got anywhere near it. Even the big buds from Giants didn't get anywhere near the Fent Tri-6. And also, the good thing about the Fent Tri-6 was it wasn't articulated. So it was a big massive tractor, but it wasn't articulated, which meant Mr. Helgi actually liked to use it and did like to drive it when we played with it in multiplayer and that, because it wasn't articulated. Because that's another thing about Mr. Helgi, ladies and gents. He can't drive articulated tractors. He doesn't trust the way they move. He doesn't trust the way they move. He can't get a grip on them. They're too bendy. the way they move about freaks him out or something. he can't steer them, he can't reverse them, so he gets all in a flap, and then he ends up going and getting his normal trusty Fendt. Right then, that is field rolled. Like I say, it's just oilseed radish on these. That field's fully fertilised. It's not going to need any more, is it? So yeah, we've got these 3 fields here to harvest before the series is complete. But yeah, we are coming to the end, ladies and gents, on this map. Again, I am going to probably keep the save file. I'm probably going to keep it saved. Maybe I'll be able to use this map as my get the achievement about a save game. I'll get rid of that sprayer at some point as well, because we've never ever used it. What's next? Might go empty the manure. Or do I? Because it's only, this video's about 30 minutes long. There's probably not a lot else I can do today. Apart from starting on the mulching, which I don't want to do, because I actually want to test a new mulcher mod that we got released the other day on the mod hub. Where is it? Pretty sure I activated it, turned it on. I think it's this. This is a mulcher. No, it's a cultivator. Is it? Huh. I could have sworn I downloaded a bigger mulcher. Did I not? Yeah, there. No. That says it's a cultivator though, but it's in the mulching section. You know what? I'm going to lease it. Let's lease it. And let's go take the New Holland. We'll grab it. We'll take it over to field 43 and we'll try it out. Because that field needs to be mulched. And it will confirm whether it is indeed a cultivator or a mulcher, because that is confusing. Unless it's a 2-in-1 job, it's a cultivator and a mulcher, in which case that would be ideal, because that would cut down some work time. If you could cultivate and mulch in a single action, that would be the way to do it. Okay, It's a mulcher, but it's a little bit unrealistic in terms of its working speed, ladies and gents. That's kind of a cheaty mod then. I wouldn't mind if it did like 21 or something, but the fact that it does 35 kilometers an hour is a bit ridiculous. But I'm going to keep using it to do this field because, hey, I've leased it. But that's good to know because I can change that. I can edit that myself and I can make that slower. If I ever decide to use this in a future Let's Play series, of course. Or on another map. Nice to know that we can actually cultivate a little bit slower. We can mulch slower. I'll tell you what, for the people that don't like mulching, this would actually make it a lot easier for them to do it, because it would be a lot quicker. If you're not fans of the mulching and you ignore doing the mulching and this obviously pay for it in reduced yield of your crops, you might be tempted to download this mod off the mod hub and install it, because then you could do your mulching and get your yield bonus, but it's not taking you hours and hours and hours to mulch a field. Which I think is a good thing. I know there are a lot of players that are kind of missing out on a lot of the farm sim goodness because they're avoiding doing certain jobs and tasks because they don't want to put the time in. So like the weeding, the stone collecting, things like that, they're trying to turn off and disable the mulching. And as a result, they're not getting the maximum yields from their fields and their crops. They're ultimately making the game a lot harder for themselves by not doing those jobs. Because as we all know, yield is king. Yield is king in this game. And making any kind of progress, you need yield. Worker do the rest. Is mulching it okay? We'll have a quick look on the mini map now just to see. So yeah, it's not actually giving us any kind of cultivated status or anything. It's literally just giving us mulched. That's perfectly fine. My truck is sat up here for whatever reason. Probably going to send him down to the bakery, I would think. As his next port of call, where he needs to empty in the future. Probably been delivering wool. Yeah, I can have him drive down there. The John Deere we are going to need a header though for this soon to do our corn. And I'm going to go and empty the manure from the cows and take to the BGA. Like I say, I am going to need a header to do the corn harvesting. Let's go get our poop. Our poop scooped. Let's get it transported. cash it in, make lots of money, everybody's a winner. There might be a trailer in the way. I do like the addition in the FS22 of that trigger on the manure pits. So if you don't want to muck about with a bucket and shovel, scooping out your manure, you can just drive a trailer up and fill it. For people who are a little bit lazy of doing certain repetitive tasks, like myself, might need to bring some more hay and stuff down for the cows in that pen. So yeah, 51,000 litres of manure going straight to the BGA. Nice bit of income. I think, like I say, that's the only thing that I need to buy now. Equipment wise, I just need that corn sunflower header, and then we're done. We've got our fleet of equipment. We can pretty much, you know, the farm is 100% profitable, viable, financially safe and secure. There is very little for me, there's nothing really left for me to achieve on this map. In that sense, it's a case of just rinse, repeat now. Turn dirt, make profit. As we famously say in the business. As long as we keep turning dirt, we keep making the profit. Now have I got to back up to there? Up to one of these to unload my manure? Possibly. Although, nice that they've put a trigger there for me. Only got $2,000 for it. Don't own the BGA, do I, on this map? No, not bought it. Never bought into the BGA. Maybe that's something for the Huron County map. We might own the BGA. Although I don't know how viable that would be, because unless we get a lot of contracts wanting stuff delivered there, we're not going to be making any money, and we won't be producing any digestate and stuff, which would be useful to use for then fertilizing contracts, doing fertilizing contracts with the money from the BGA. But there we go, ladies and gents. That is it for today's video. I know it's not super duper exciting and eventful. It's really just a bit of housekeeping today. Getting 2 fields rolled that we seeded recently and just emptying the cow shed of its stuff and things. We will see what happens in the next episode, which hopefully will be a little bit more eventful for you all. So yes, go ahead, click that thumbs up for me on the video. Make sure you've left your comments for me in the comment section down below. Share the video with everyone you can, everywhere you can. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already doing so. And I will see you all again down the road in another farming sim video very soon. Cheerio for now, everybody. Oh, press the wrong buttons. Goodbye.